Did you know Nerd and Tie is running a convention? That's right! The Nerd and Tie Expo is coming to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, September 23rd through 25th in 2016. You can pre-register right now for $30. Space is limited. We're limiting attendance to only 1,000 people, so get your spot while you can, because everything is magical and wonderful when you're wearing your pants. Wear pants.
On this fortnight's edition of Nerd and Tie, we look at a ton of trailers for upcoming movies. Mystery Science Theater 3000 is coming back with a vengeance. Please don't fight Walking Dead star Norman Reedus. And Touhou Con has to pay for all this and a mailbag on this fortnight's edition of Nerd and Tie.
We lost a little bit at the end there, but I think we're good.
I think we got it. People know how our
that last story will be a surprise for people who stick around till the end.
I hope they do.
Sorry, I thought I came through. I stuttered. Anyway.
No,
I have a confession. I have an excuse. No, really.
Right.
Hi, Nerd and Tie people. It's us, the cast, featuring over in Eau Claire, the unstoppable Fur.
Yeah! 9-4, baby.
To the south of where I'm sitting, we got the one and only Trey.
What in the butt?
And recovering from a head injury, I'm Nick Izumi. Oh boy.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing all right for someone who slammed his head against a shelf on Tuesday.
Oh, sorry, man.
That's all I get. Oh, well, I just closed a community theater production of A Christmas Carol, though, so I must be recovered to some degree anyway.
No.
So how are you guys?
Well, obviously to have a concussion and still be able to do a community theater production, that's pretty great.
I am a hero to many and an enemy to few.
And for those of you hearing a slight echo at home, we are apologizing. It's a Skype connection issue, and it'll clear itself up.
Oh, yeah.
It just did.
Yeah.
So I apologize for a problem that already fixed itself. Go me. I'm the best producer ever.
Indeed you are. Any other good stuff in you guys' camp right now?
Packers won tonight. I don't know. I'm in a project that just launched a Kickstarter, so check out my Facebook page and feel free to throw money at that.
What Kickstarter is that?
Oh, I'm in. So for those of you that aren't familiar with this director, Christopher Mim, who's a film director from the Twin Cities, just helped write his movie The Monster of Phantom Lake into a musical, and just recently. I was cast in it as one of the teenagers that gets terrorized by the monster. And we're trying to raise a little bit of money for the show, which is going to be in Menominee, Wisconsin. It's going to premiere there next July. And we're looking for a little bit of help. So feel free to check out my Facebook page. Feel free to donate to the Kickstarter. There's a lot of really cool rewards. One of which being, and I don't understand why, if you donate $100, you have a chance to get the script that I use, which I guarantee you is going to be covered in like tea stains and probably ketchup.
And bodily fluids.
And bodily fluids. Which bodily fluids? You'll have to guess, but...
Whose bodily fluids? You'll also have to guess.
Exactly.
I know that I want this script now.
So that's what I've been up to recently.
Good stuff,
Right?
Good stuff.
Cool.
Great.
All right, well, these last 2 weeks, I missed you guys last episode. I'm sorry that scheduling didn't work out.
Jen Proc filled in wonderfully, as she usually does.
Yes.
Well, I haven't gotten to listen to it yet. I'm sure it's good. Oh dear, maybe not.
Well, I'm glad that the participants of the show are some of the most loyal fans.
Right, I don't listen to this show.
I don't listen to this
Ever.
show.
I never do. I don't want to.
Well, to be fair, you're here for the whole thing.
That's true.
I mean, you did
To
listen
be
to
fair,
the show.
I had a concussion and I was trying to do community theater.
You know, we really should have had you on the show because you had a concussion and you were trying to do community theater at the same time. That would have been a great episode.
Like while I was on stage, even. You
yeah,
know?
no, yeah. I mean, you use an iPad. We could have gone out to AT&T, get a SIM, and reactivate the wireless on that thing.
Get something going, play, just occasionally you'll hear my Scrooge lines, while that's going on.
Mommy, why is Scrooge talking about MST3K?
All right, well, we should move on to stuff that's actually on the docket. Because holy cats, we got a lot of trailers.
Oh my God, yes.
Weird.
It's like Trailer City, as Trey put it.
And then some. There was a new trailer during the Packer game tonight, but we'll talk about that later too, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Well, first up, though, on the docket is my favorite beastie is back in Japan. That's right, the Godzilla Resurgence, formerly Shin Godzilla.
Well, it's still Shin Godzilla. Resurgence is just the English title.
Oh, okay. I like Shin Godzilla more anyway.
It's all dickish.
I'll
wait for Nick to get through the story before I comment on that.
We'll get into that. So the first Shin Godzilla Resurgence trailer is up, and it is a Hideaki Anno trailer.
Yep, right.
If you've ever seen any trailers that Hideaki Anno has had for any movie he's ever worked on, you know what to expect. Here's some clips out of context that reveal literally nothing. Here's cutting to black with only credits on screen to kind of intercut it, and a title and a release date. It's what his trailers always are. If you expected anything more, then you clearly don't know this man. Yeah.
Well, I can't say that I know him personally.
Well, I don't either, but I think all of us are roughly familiar with at least some of his work.
Yeah, they also put out a nice poster.
The
poster's
I
cool.
love the design of Godzilla. He's kind of derpy, but he's also monstrous and horrifying.
I'm Godzilla.
It looks like they're going to take not necessarily the original Godzilla like all the way, but there's definitely aspects of the original Godzilla in that poster, and it looks like they're just making him bigger.
It looks like even the pre-costume Godzilla design from the pre-production of 54.
Right.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, so I have lots of thoughts. I mean, first off, I am excited about this movie because it's a Godzilla movie. Mm-hmm. I suspect the special effects will look nowhere near as good as Legendary's, but it'll have a more substantial plot. That's what I'm anticipating. Although
the Attack on Titan guy did, so God knows at this point.
Also, Aaron Tyler Johnson won't be involved in it, so we already know the acting's going to be way better.
I thought he was great when his sister was an Olsen and not his wife. I mean,
he was good in Avengers. I like him.
He was good in Kick-Ass. He's not a bad actor.
Yeah, great in that. He just Godzilla. They didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, it's all the problems with Godzilla is that he's they were trying to neutral mask him, and there's only so much that I don't know. I think there were a lot of weak problems with the 2014 Godzilla. Overall, I still loved it as a film, but we're not,
It's neither here nor there.
It's a thing. But this is why, so the Japanese title of this film is Shin Godzilla, which Shin as a word has a lot of meanings.
It can mean death, it can mean new, and it can mean true.
Yeah, it can, so it's like naming it Real Godzilla.
It's that a little shade thrown at
it's
Legendary?
All the shade thrown at Legendary. And what it comes down to is the fact is that Touhou stopped making Godzilla movies a decade ago, and then when someone else made a lot of money with the character, they're like, oh, well, they were all before Legendary's Godzilla came out. They were all like, no, this is going to be the real Godzilla franchise. It's fine. And then the instant it did well in Japan, they were like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and no, we're going to be the real Godzilla.
I like Final Wars, but 2014 was overall it was a more substantial film than Final
yeah.
was.
Final Wars wasn't really a movie so much as let's watch as many big monster fights as possible.
I was say it's an insanity trip that Ryuhei Kitamura made.
They threw Zilla in there. They took the 98 Godzilla and brought him into the canon of Toho monsters.
To be fair,
just to screw with it.
He was in the canon before. In Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, there's a brilliant throwaway line where during a meeting about Godzilla attacks, one of the military generals says to one of the others, "Didn't Godzilla attack New York in 1998? No, that was just a monster Americans mistook for Godzilla."
But I don't think it really was. Yeah,
yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like Final Wars was like, I mean, Final Wars is a great movie to watch while you do other stuff because you always look up and see something neat, but it's not really coherent.
It's a good insanity trip. It's
right.
If you've ever seen any other movies by Ryuhei Kitamura, anything he makes is completely bonkers.
It's a great movie to watch with 20 friends while you talk about other stuff, and then I'll point at the screen going, "Oh man, that was awesome." Like, it's not a movie so much as a thing to have on. I enjoyed Final Wars, but so that's why it's like this whole thing sounds like it's this elitism of the real Japanese Godzilla. That other Godzilla that you all spent a lot of money to go see that looked better than anything we're going to produce because we're Toho. So
part of it's Toho, and part of it is that, and this is coming from, I like Hideaki Anno, but I'll be the first to say he is a pretentious guy.
Of course he is.
Everything he makes is incredibly pretentious.
I'm fairly certain that that's the one thing everybody agrees about Hideaki Anno.
All you other Godzillas are just imitators, so will the real Godzilla please stand up? Please stand up.
At least the legendary Godzilla was like, okay, so the 98 Godzilla, like, they kind of weak sauced him. So yeah, no, it's like Zilla as a separate monster is great. But I think Legendary's Godzilla lived up to the hype of Godzilla.
I think he did. Oh, yeah. I think he overdid. I think he lived beyond the hype, honestly. Like, every time he was on screen in that movie, I was just blown away.
It's good to have Hero Godzilla back because I like Hero Godzilla.
Yeah, and I'm fine with Scary Godzilla coming back. But that's why I'm like, the Toho one, I'm like, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
However it comes out in any kind of form, I might be able to see it.
I'm sure we'll be able to see it within a month of it being released.
I do think they go for Scary Godzilla, though, because it'd be nice to have them easily differentiable monsters. Legendary Godzilla, I like keeping as Hero Godzilla, but I like horrifying monster Godzilla too. So it'll be nice to have a little bit of both,
And it'll be nice to have the legendary movies where there's a continuity between films, and then it'll be Toho movies where every movie resets the continuity and nothing makes sense.
Oh, the Millennium series was fun.
So the two Godzilla films we talked about that reference Zilla are entirely separate continuities.
Yeah, this is true.
There is not like a Millennium continuity. There is like 5 continuities.
Well, you did get Against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS were sequels to each other, but those ones complicated the matters even more because those ones acknowledged the classic movies, but they only acknowledged the original Godzilla, War of Gargantuas, and Mothra 61. Everything else was not canon, but those 3 movies are. In fact, Tokyo SOS is actually a direct sequel to Mothra 61. One of the original characters and actors from 61 is in that one.
So yeah, that's going to hit theaters in Japan July 29th, 2016. No word on an English release, although since they've got an English poster prepped, I'm sure they're
We'll get it like a month and a half after.
Yeah. Well, the real question is that will it end up just on disc and streaming, or will it get some sort of theatrical release in limited?
I have a feeling with today's globalized world, I'm sure we're going to get a theatrical release. At least in some indie theaters.
Right. We might see. What I'm saying is that we don't know what kind of it might be. They might get a limited one, but it might not get one at all. It's
I'd like it to.
I'd like it to, because I think, you know, the rubber suits actually like look impressive when on a big screen.
I'm sad I did not get to see Godzilla 2000 when it was in American theaters, and that was the last Toho Godzilla that hit American theaters. So,
yeah,
that's a fun movie.
So yeah, you know what else looks like a fun movie?
Ooh,
What's that,
what?
Trey?
Believe it or not,
Yeah, right. Weird.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Like, you know, they say trailers can make any movie look good, and then that might be the truth.
I, in
but
fact,
this actually-
literally said trailers can make anything look good in my post about this, because you know, I watch, as a person who does most of our trailers posts to the website, I've watched a lot of trailers, and some were trailers for bad movies. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 trailer, though,
Yeah.
actually,
Victor Frankenstein.
I want to see that.
It's not good.
The international trailer made it look good. The American
It's not
trailer made it
great.
look bad.
Not great. It's not a good movie, Trey.
I'm jazzed about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, though. That was an awesome trailer.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We got to see lots of stuff in the new trailer,
Bebop and Rocksteady, y'all.
including Bebop and Rocksteady for the first time.
As it should be, and they look amazing.
And the cartoon-tastic van that they're driving around in.
Yeah, it looks like a converted garbage truck.
Yeah.
It was so great.
It's
It
pretty
was
great.
so great. Oh, and Stephen Amell.
Yeah, Stephen Amell as Casey.
Stephen Amell as Casey Jones.
Casey Jones.
Yeah, it's okay. So my thoughts about it are, you know, I had to sit down and watch it. Is that like, I got excited. I got excited when I saw the way they were doing Bebop and Rocksteady. I like the way that with the CGI characters, they're not going hyper realistic. Like, there's a cartoonish vibe to all of the CGI in these films.
And that's exactly what I like about this trailer, is that it's not, I mean, it's obviously over the top. There's a lot of weird stuff, but at any point you don't feel like they're trying too hard.
Yeah. I will say that they did unfortunately include just a little bit of an exploitive shot of Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, the one thing.
Up and the tie and the.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so we can all acknowledge that Megan Fox is an attractive woman, but we don't really need, like, it's the camera angle held by the director that's making it uncomfortable.
Right.
It's, well, you know, the camera angle directed by the director, I should say. He's got unionized camera operators actually pointing the things. It's like that was the problem. That was my big problem that I had when I watched the first one, was the random unnecessary shot of Megan Fox's butt with Will Arnett staring at it. Like, no, you're in an awesome action scene going down the side of a mountain in snow. You don't need that stupid shot. Like, it was a great scene right up and then no, you ruin it with that.
Now,
like,
Will Arnett wasn't really in this trailer.
But he was there for a moment. Why aren't we going with the turtles?
Yeah.
If there's danger, go with the turtles.
Now, I haven't seen the first movie yet. I'll preface it by saying that. But what I liked about the trailer was that it did look like playing up the turtles as characters and not, you know, oh, here's all these side actors who are easier to shoot with cameras. It looks like we'll actually get to spend time with the turtles, which is exciting.
The great
and it looks like they're going back to more of the Turtles story too. I mean, we're getting Casey Jones, we're getting Bebop Rocksteady, but not only that, but we're getting we're getting an actual Shredder.
Right. Well, they're doing a thing with this movie is it's some, you know, kind of a spoiler to say that something happens to the Shredder in the first movie, but they're going with the multiple characters have held that mantle in the comics, and so it looks like we're getting a new Shredder in this, which is pretty great. Who's gonna not be in a CGI suit?
Good.
But the CGI Shredder, like, I mean, that whole thing was like I will say the creators of these films have been listening to fans all along. Like, they scrapped major plot points in the first movie in this franchise because of fan reactions, from the alien angle being tossed out to restoring it to the original, you know, origins, to the inclusion of Oroku Saki instead of having William Fincher's character become the Shredder. But that's actually why a lot of that stuff is CGI, because it was going to be, you know, William Fincher's not really an action guy, and so he was going to be in this robot armor, and then they changed which character it was halfway through production, and did a bunch of reshoots. So that was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a bunch of preliminary stuff that even said that the other actor was going to be the Shredder beforehand, and then oops.
Yeah. So
this looks like it might be fun, though. I'm excited. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
You know what? I'm excited too. I will say, Nick, if you go back and watch the 2014 Ninja Turtles, it's an imperfect film with some good moments.
That's what I've heard, and it's on Netflix, I think, so I can probably just check it out there.
I think it got a bad rap because it's I think a lot of people don't remember what the original Ninja Turtles was like.
Probably. Although, the 1991 movie I think holds up pretty well.
Yes, it does. I thought it was 90. Oh, well.
Oh, 90? Okay, maybe
well, I could be wrong. I don't know. Either way, we're talking about the first Ninja Turtles movie, the first live action with Corey Feldman playing Donatello, and yeah.
That one I think holds up really well. Like, I watched that last year.
Oh, no, yeah. I still go back and rewatch that one every once in a while. It's actually still pretty solid. So yeah, it's Ninja Turtles will hit theaters June 3rd, 2016.
And I'm sure we're all going to be there because this movie actually looks like a lot of fun.
It does look fun.
Yeah, what for what doesn't look like fun?
Well, can we get that sound cue, or is that not queued up?
I've got it turned off.
Well, earlier this year, we got a teaser trailer for Batman vs. Superman, or Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Dawn of Justice.
Well, last week, we got an official full-length trailer for Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice,
and you should not watch it unless you want extensive spoilers about the plot of Dawn of Justice.
I need to see the movie anymore.
If you want to see the movie, don't
you could
watch
record
the
a whole
trailer.
special based off that.
They pretty much told you what you were getting with the movie with this new trailer. As opposed to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2 trailer, which was like, oh, here's a lot of cool shots from the movie. This trailer was essentially, well, here you go.
Here's the whole movie.
There's the whole thing.
We're going to have a lot of fighting between these two. Lex Luthor's going to have a hand in it. Oh, there's an actual villain. And by the way, Wonder Woman's going to show up and help fight.
And here's a really spoilery reveal of how Doomsday comes about, which will reveal what was likely meant to be like a twist that no one was supposed to see coming.
Well, all right, let's pick this apart. Let's unpack everything that happened in this trailer.
My challenge to you, Fur, is to pick it apart without spoiling the movie.
It's garbage.
It cannot be done.
The Wonder Woman bit was good.
The Wonder Woman bit was great. Is she with you? I
thought she was with you. Yeah, Wonder Woman is, again, all this film is doing is making me excited about the Wonder Woman movie. I've yet to see Gal Gadot speak a line, but
she hasn't said a word in any of the two trailers we've gotten. In either of them. Nothing.
But the more I see of her in the costume, the more I get behind it.
And, okay, I know people have a lot of problems with I like Jesse Eisenberg as an actor. I think he's great.
I think he's terrible.
Sure is great watching him play Jim Carrey's Riddler.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, really, he's like, go watch Batman Forever. The scene, it's the scene at the party that where the Riddler pretends, tries to mimic Bruce Wayne. That the entire it's just that's the whole that's what Jesse Eisenberg's performance is.
Yeah, the first bit they showed of him in that earlier trailer, I'm like, oh look, it's a small child pretending to be Gene Hackman. But in this one, yeah, exactly, he's the Jim Carrey Riddler.
What else? Here's my issue. Here's my whole problem with it. So we're getting all of these things, and here they're throwing stuff at us, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's Doomsday. I don't.
Well,
it was obvious that they were. Let's face it. These superhero stories have a kind of
just set story kind of thing. You can't actually have the two heroes kill each other. So you're going to have them fight. Then some bigger evil shows up that forces them to team up. And so Doomsday, the ultimate baby, was their go-to for that.
But it's out of nowhere. Like, was David Goyer on crack when he was writing this?
Well, Fur, have you read The Death of Superman? Because Doomsday comes out of nowhere, because he was a poorly conceived character. There's, like, I hate to say, but here's the thing. Is Doomsday's introduction garbage? Yes, because in the comics, Doomsday's introduction is garbage. Because Doomsday is garbage.
Well, maybe we shouldn't be using a garbage character then.
Exactly! I'm not defending using Doomsday because that's what Doomsday is. He is garbage.
He's the Bryan Singer of Superman villains. That's a reference to people who... to something we talked about in the pre-show.
The only times that Doomsday works at all, is when they completely throw everything about the Doomsday canon out the window, or when they subvert the Superman kills Doomsday trope. Like the way they used him in the Justice League cartoon. That was funny and clever. Specifically, Doomsday shows up on Earth just around the time that the Justice Lords, the evil alternate universe Justice League, switch places with our heroes. So instead of having a long fist fight, Superman just lobotomizes Doomsday and then it's over.
As it should be.
As it should be, yes.
So yeah, this is a movie that's going to happen. There's going to be, when we do a special for this movie, and we will, when we go back and we do a special, it's going to be hilarious.
It's just going to be, well, no surprises here.
Here's everything wrong with the movie.
And I hate that that's what it's going to be. I hate that we're getting this movie and that's what it's going to be, because DC is trying to set up this entire cinematic universe especially with Suicide Squad and all these other movies, and this is what we're getting first.
I will say that actually, I'm excited about Suicide Squad. I'm excited about Wonder Woman. I'm excited about the Batman film directed by Ben Affleck. I'm literally excited about everything DC is doing except for this movie.
I'll say it took me a while to get excited for Wonder Woman, but when I saw the period costumes, I lost my shiz. I was really excited.
So is that World War I or World War II stuff?
I thought it looked pretty World War I-y, honestly. Which is weird, because she is not that old a character. I mean, her origins were very World War II-y. Extremely World War II-y.
Right.
Like, she's almost more World War II-y than Captain America. So, I'm not sure.
Well, because I don't know historical costumes.
I thought they looked very World War I-ish, honestly.
If you're hearing an echo on the recording, I've been doing my best to minimize it on my end here. Listeners, I'm sorry. It's because Nick's got a lousy Skype connection, and it's causing feedback. And that is why you don't hear echoes on Nick's audio ever. But echoes on me and Fur.
I really am.
It's okay. I'm turning down your audio whenever I'm talking, so people at home can't hear the echo. They only hear the echo when Fur talks.
Yay!
But yeah, I'm right there with you though, Trey, because it hurts because DC has such great characters, and this is how they're opening up. And then you look at, like, on TV, they just did the second annual Flash Arrow crossover, and we had like a mini Justice League in that, and that was really cool. And it's so sad that the TV universe is just nailing it. And
Supergirl's been so good as I'm a little annoyed with the Arrow fall finale.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's still a question mark, but
it is, yeah.
I may abandon the show if they do what I think they're threatening to do.
I'll be very upset. I'll admit that. But I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Supergirl, I thought.
Have you watched the fall finale yet, Fur? Nope. Well, you see, in the episode,
I'll catch up.
Yeah. Supergirl, I think. it had a little bit of trouble finding its legs, but I really think it knows what it wants to be right now. It did a reveal this last week that I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
And high five.
They took a character in a very different place than where they let us, like, they were like really teasing us hard with that too.
They did a great fake out, and it paid off in spades.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was one of the best things I've seen in superhero TV.
It still leaves them open to go the other direction too, with and introduce that a new way.
Yeah, that was really super high five.
Fur has no idea what's happening.
I have no idea what's going on.
Because you haven't been watching Supergirl?
No, because I don't have the ability to watch Supergirl. I don't have CBS's thing.
They took her stuff off of the paid part.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, at least that's what someone told me.
When?
I saw someone post about it last week. I don't know. It's the only channel I get over the air.
I better catch up then. I guess I know what I'm doing on my 2 days off.
CBS is the only actual broadcast channel in Lafayette, Indiana. So
that's weird.
I get CBS pretty clear too on actual broadcast, which is why I've been able to keep up. It's
also there's this thing called the internet, and I'm not saying I would pirate a show if it was the only show on an entire network.
Before we get incriminated, let's move on to the next thing. Either way, Superman v Batman: Dawn of Justice.
Speaking of the internet,
is out next May. I don't even care.
March.
At this point.
It's in
next
March.
Whatever. Who cares?
The drive-in I go to is talking about opening up early for it.
Oh.
And I'm just saying, if they do, you two need to come down.
Tell me when. Just tell me when, and I'll try and make it happen.
Well, whatever. I don't know if they're gonna do it.
Because if I'm in the middle of production of this musical, I'm not gonna be able to make it.
Well,
if they do, let me know. Because Indiana's not that far from me.
No. So. Indiana's not that far from anywhere.
Can you imagine all three of us sitting in a car just like stealing each other's popcorn and being like, what the hell?
Well, no, we'd bring lawn chairs and park the car backward and open up the hatch.
No, we'd all be sitting in the same car. It would be me and you in the front seat, and Nick would be in the back, like in between the chairs, looking, just like pointing and flailing. That's how it works in my brain.
That is not what we would do. we would bring lawn chairs and park the car backwards. And open the hatch. Anyways, speaking of opening the hatch, not really.
Doors, Hal.
Well, hold on. Door gag potential joke segue there.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
On Friday night, the Kickstarter for Mystery Science Theater's 3000's revival finished.
It did.
At 10 p.m. Pacific, and they ran a telethon.
Yeah, they did.
of mixed quality, which makes me feel so much better about my live production of this show. Like, everything that's got, like, any audio things that have happened in this episode suddenly seem like they're amazingly no big deal because it started a half hour late. But the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Kickstarter completed, and it closed at, I actually don't have the exact numbers up in front of me, but I will pull them up in a second. It was it passed Veronica Mars and Super Troopers, and it is the most successful crowdfunding campaign in all of in movies or films. It beat Veronica Mars so the funding was split into two places. It was the most successful Kickstarter, bringing in on the Kickstarter $5,764,229, but they also had and that beats Veronica Mars, but they also had an add-on store where people who were already backers could add on additional rewards, and the fundraising through that site raised more money, bringing their total to $6.3 million.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so which originally the not only are they doing. First off, they had gotten to the 12-episode thing before the telethon started. The telethon started a half hour late, but they had actually crossed the 12-episode threshold before the telethon started. They then crossed the 13th episode holiday special bonus, and then in the last half hour, they added a 14th episode stretch goal that they got.
Yeah, there we go.
So, we're going to get 14 episodes of a new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Now, the actual telethon was a hot mess of technical issues.
Oh, boy, was it ever.
It was hosted from a comic shop in the Los Angeles area, but first off, it started a half hour late because I couldn't get audio to work. Throughout the entire thing, the stream kept going up and down. Like, I kept having to reconnect to the stream, like, multiple times, like, and switching between, because it was simulcast on the MST3K channel and on the XSN channel, which apparently is a YouTube channel someone has that apparently had like 20 subscribers. So I don't know, but the feed was there, and so I was switching between those two feeds, and but like Patton Oswalt was there. Like, if you can find clips from the telethon, some of them are actually really great, where Patton Oswalt reads
fun.
tweets.
Yeah, no, like a lot of these people are really, like, a lot of the people involved are really excited about this, and you could tell from the.
Felicia Day was also live streaming separately on Facebook from the event. So occasionally you get moments where, like, we had Krista had my wife Krista had the Felicia Day stream up on her tablet, and so we'd be watching it on the TV and then like switching, you know, which one was muted to like change position in the room to where we were watching. It was kind of an incredible live event that was amazing to watch live. And but yeah, no, 6.3 million, man. We're getting 14 episodes.
That's nuts. Like, I would have never thought this would have happened. Not only that, but they picked some really good episodes for the last stream.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. There's been a lot of bad reporting about this telethon. Like,
yeah, it's been terrible. People have been mocking it left and right. Like,
well, what? But also, like, there's been reporting about it, like, oh, and then, like, last minute, like, $100,000 came in. No. What people don't understand was that the add-on store, like, they had it set to automatically update with the Kickstarter total, but anytime they added in money from the add-on store, they had to manually add it in, and so they only did that in like 2 chunks throughout the entire evening. So, like, that's why it looked like it jumped a lot. It's just that they hadn't updated the number for a while. But reporters would know that if they had actually, like,
researched,
read, watched, or, you know, paid attention to how the internet works or technology.
You know, looking at how many episodes they have 14 episodes to convince somebody to pick them up.
Honestly, I have no problem paying more money next year for another season.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, I contributed $100 to this campaign, which is going to give me all the episodes that they make once they make them. And if someone said in a year, hey, you want to pay $100 to watch another season of MST3K, I would say yes, please. You know?
Yeah.
I'm glad that I contributed. I really am. I'm happy to be part of this. It feels really good.
Yeah. And I'm also going to get like a t-shirt and stuff.
Yeah. Can we just say how excited, how happy I am that they chose Mitchell as one of the final stream episodes? Honestly, that is one of my, like, not only does it have one of my favorite invention exchange, the Daktari stool, just out of nowhere with no explanation. But the way that episode opens is one of, like, Joe Don Baker is Mittens.
I have that one on DVD, so I
just also just the whole hey, what, bang, oh, that joke kills me every time.
Yeah, no, those were some great episodes on the last for the double feature. Yeah.
Does he think I'm an acrobat? And she's an acrobat.
You know, the funny thing is, a lot of people when they said they were going to try to go for 5.5 million, thought it was, you know, too much, that they had bitten off more they could chew, but they got to 6.3, man. You know, speaking of people biting off more than they can chew.
Oh, wow. So, whenever I meet somebody that I am admiring, that I admire. For instance, I myself got to meet Joel Hodgson, creator of Mystery Science Theater 3000. And in that brief time that I shook Joel's hand, said hello, asked him a question, got to let him know that I really appreciated what he did, never in my head did I think, you know what would make this moment magical? If I leaned over and bit him. Well, Not everybody thinks that way, such as the case of Robin Grover, noted walking or self-described Walking Dead superfan, because last weekend, that would be December the 5th through the 7th, or the 4th through the 6th, she got to meet Norman Reedus
At Walker Stalker Con in New Jersey.
Walker Stalker Con in New Jersey. And of course she did all she regularly you'd usually do with a photo op. You shake hands, hug, take a picture, maybe tell them, hey, I think you're really cool. No, she took it one step further and decided to lunge over and bite him in the chest.
It's a show about zombies, so
I can see where that line of thought may have gone, but thankfully, like, Norman Reedus is unhurt. No skin was broken. He's not pressing charges. In fact, he even took it in a rather funny fashion and posted a picture in Instagram of him in a rather tight tank top.
Well, it's a standard publicity photo.
It's a standard publicity photo, but with the words "Do not bite me" written on the shirt.
a reasonable request.
A reasonable request with the words "please don't" underneath it. Why? Just why would you do this?
Pro tip: when going to conventions,
do not bite
don't bite Norman Reedus.
Or anybody, really, unless they ask for it.
So yeah, this woman has been banned from all future Walker Stalker cons, and was promptly kicked out. But just don't do that. Like, I understand the cult of celebrity and like people like, and I know, like, maybe she's a little extreme with like describing Norman Reedus as her husband, but I know plenty of fans who say things like that in jest and who are perfectly normal, fine people. But you know what they wouldn't do? Bite them.
Bite people. Well, and she said in her Instagram post that she didn't know what came over her. She just reached over and bit him. But never in any moment that I've ever met anybody that I look up to or like I'm a fan of, do I ever think I'm going to reach over and bite them.
Non-consensual biting we were taught this since like kindergarten, at least. If you don't know by kindergarten that non-consensual biting is bad, you do not belong outside amongst the peoples. I don't.
This is just too funny.
I don't think it's too much to say that non-consensual biting is something that you shouldn't even have to explicitly call out in a convention's code of conduct.
Probably don't need to do it ever.
Yeah,
if someone says they want you to bite them, that's fine, but don't bite strangers. Don't bite people you know if you don't have their permission. It's just a rule.
It's hard to be part of fandom sometimes, I'm not going to lie. That's
Amen.
All right, moving on. What do we got next?
I don't think we can get anything more out of that one.
Don't bite Norman Reedus.
Don't bite anybody.
That's the episode title.
Nom nom nom.
All right. What's next up? Is this Touhou Con?
Touhou Con.
It sure is.
It's the mystery story that people at home couldn't hear.
Okay, well, so what would be a really cool thing to do if your convention has the resources to do it? Would be to say, hey, artists in the artist alley, you're paying all that for your artist booth and you're giving content to us. It'd be great if we could give you hotel rooms for free. You know what? That's a cool thing to do for people, right? You know what's an awful thing to do? To suddenly drop charges on people after you tell them that you gave them a free hotel room.
To suddenly have their credit cards charged hundreds and hundreds of dollars?
Yeah, which is precisely what happened at Touhou Con. Sorry, Touhou Con, except not really. Touhou Con did just that. They promised their artists in their artist alley that they would get free hotel rooms. And of course, the artists checking into the hotel rooms believed them, which is a reasonable thing to do when someone promises that to you. Well, they still gave their credit card information and apparently...
For incidentals.
Yeah, which is reasonable. That just comes to checking into any hotel room, right? Right. So apparently Touhou Con was not as good at budgeting as they thought they were. And when they didn't have everything settled out with the hotel as they should have, or as they were likely contracted to, the hotel claims they just charged anyone whose room they had a credit card for, which included all of these artists, many of whom were charged hundreds of dollars that they had not budgeted because they were promised free hotel rooms.
Yeah, this whole thing's a mess.
It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame the hotel, because the hotel had a situation where they had a bunch of unpaid hotel rooms and they had cards on file. But Touhou Con, the only reason these artists got charged on their cards at all was because Touhou Con did not pay their hotel. They did not settle their contract with the hotel, and
their attendees got hurt because of it.
Yeah, no, it's and Touhou Con first off went completely was like, so this convention was back in September, I want to say. And then artists got charged on their cards in October. There was complete radio silence from the convention until late November that they finally issued a statement about this.
Oh, God. That's bad.
Yeah, no,
awful.
It's...
Awful.
It's, the Touhou Con has told people to contact them and reach out to find out how they're charged. And there's a rumor about a fundraiser being set up
what?
by Touhou Con people, because think about it, if Touhou Con didn't pay the bill, it's because they don't have any money. And so if they're saying to artists, hey, we want to try to reimburse you,
they can't do it with nothing.
But so a lot of people are talking about how they're not going to attend Touhou Con again. Well, I definitely wouldn't if I got charged hundreds of dollars from them. But so right now nothing's happening now. So this could go either one of two ways. Either Touhou Con gets their shit together and pays the bills, finding some way to get the money, or they don't. But if they pay the artist back, I'm pretty sure it's the end of the convention. If they don't pay the artist back, it'll be they'll hold another con, but it'll be the end of the convention because of a ruined reputation, and no one will go.
Right.
Because the entire reason that they said they couldn't afford it is because they had lower attendance turnout than they thought they would, that they had budgeted for. But, the rule of thumb is that if you're promising someone else that you're covering a charge, if you're promising someone that you're covering a charge, you cover that charge no matter what. You make sure that gets paid before anything else gets paid. And so, that's on the list. And also, who in their right mind thinks it's okay? So I think it's it's a really nice gesture to offer to pay for artist hotel room. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard from a convention organization in my life. Because so you don't need to make a profit on your vendors and artists, but you never want to lose money from someone who's coming to the con unless they're specifically a guest of honor. Your artists and vendors should not be losing you money. They should, you don't want to necessarily use them as your revenue source. Being revenue neutral on them is perfectly fine, but you don't want to ever lose money on them, because that's just bad organizational business. That is bad con running.
Yeah, it's a mess, and it's wrong what happened to these artists.
I mean, also, how much was the table where it seemed reasonable that a hotel room would be included?
I'm curious about that myself, yeah.
Because, I mean, the reason why it's hundreds of dollars is because even in, I don't know this market, I haven't researched what their hotel costs, but even in a cheap market, after fees and taxes, on a cheap hotel, you're looking at, with the convention space, you're probably looking at $100 a night, so 3 nights is $300. And then considering it's, when you look at California and how they usually have, hotel prices, I mean, this could easily be $150 a night. Who knows? I'd have to look it up. But either way, they're probably at most getting a couple hundred for an artist table.
Yeah.
So I'm just downright confused as to where anybody in their right mind thought this was a good idea.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. I hope they can work it out. Otherwise, I mean, do we know if this was in the contract that?
Well, it's in the contract that the convention needed to make sure the money was paid, but the convention hasn't paid for all of their hotel space. The convention hasn't fulfilled their contract with the hotel.
Technically, if it's in the contract that they're paying for the artist rooms, I mean, that's a lawsuit potentially.
Oh yes, absolutely. But the problem is, and this is really the key here, is that when you're suing a company, there has to be money to get.
Yeah.
You know, they could very easily successfully sue Touhou Con, and then Touhou Con would declare bankruptcy, and no one would get anything, and everyone would be out the legal fees. It would probably cost more to sue Touhou Con right now, and even in a winning outcome,
no one wins.
No one wins. This is like, yeah. If you sue a man with $0 in his pocket, he'll owe you the money, but he'll never pay you. That's why no one ever sues Nick Izumi.
Well, wait,
even though he knows what he did.
I have wronged. I am a hero to many and an enemy to few.
So you're saying you have enemies?
Probably, yeah.
Like I was saying, you just admitted.
Probably. I mean, realistically, there are people who hate me. I don't even know why.
I don't understand why anyone could hate Nick. That requires having a strong opinion about Nick.
I also have strong opinions, though, which is why people hate me.
People hate me because I'm kind of a dick.
People hate me.
I just demonstrated it like 3 sentences
ago. People hate me because I'm doing me better than they're doing them.
I don't know.
So you're doing yourself really hard? I'm just saying that maybe that wasn't the most apt metaphor. Unless you're really talking about masturbation and you're very proud about that. Speaking of masturbation, let's go on to the mailbag.
Whoa, what? There's a lot to masturbate in this mailbag.
So I'll start out with Corfan to lead you on a false sense of security that these will be short.
Aww.
Corfan writes us, subject, Colony. I recently saw a commercial for a TV series on USA called Colony. If I wanted to see a remake of V, I'd want to see a campy one, not a serious, dark, gritty one. What say you? I haven't seen the ads for Colony yet.
I haven't either.
Because I do not have this USA you speak of. But I'll say that I they did just actually recently try to remake V a couple of years ago.
They did with Morena Baccarin and Alan Tudyk.
And Juliet from Lost.
It wasn't awful. Actually,
they were okay.
They were okay. I remember watching the first episode of that show with Ophelia's mom in the delivery, like not in the delivery room, in the hospital after Ophelia was born.
I'm just saying that.
I remember that show.
I'm just saying that I want to see. All I want to see in a V remake now, if they did another one, is just shots of them eating white mice.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
I've never seen the original V. I've never seen the remake, and I have not seen anything about the Colony, so I can't.
Also, everyone needs to be wearing those cool sunglasses.
Yes.
At night?
So they can watch the visions of you.
Am I the only one who's like watched the original V?
You're old, Trey.
Yes.
I've been meaning to. I just never got around to it.
All right. So now that we gave Corfan that disappointing answer, let's disappoint the world with more of the mailbag.
Yeah, let's. Do we want to take Langland next?
Yeah, go read some Langland.
All right, Langland, you will be graded on this essay. Langland writes the subject: Understanding One Piece's current popularity in the USA. The message says, "Hey guys, Langland here again. So last time I wrote my letter at Daisho Con, I mentioned how pleased I was with the amount of One Piece cosplayers. I believe Gen mentioned that the show is making a comeback, and you, Fur, noticed... it's almost like Langland knows that I read his letters on the show. And you, Fur, noticed the observation I made, too. The observation that I recently made, other than the fact that Trey put me on fire in that weird little clip, was that there have been a lot more One Piece cosplayers in the past couple of years, and that's true, and I'm glad other people have noticed that as well. I know not many of you guys that come onto this podcast take a huge interest in the series, and I understand that. So I'm writing this week to kind of give my explanation on why the show has gained more popularity in the last few years. To start off, we all know that when the 4Kids obtained the dubbing rights, One Piece, they heavily edited up the series for it to be on the Fox programming block that the Fox station had at the time. That's true. One of the biggest edits was that all cigarettes were turned into lollipops. That's me aside, not a Langland mention. Sadly, all that editing turned the series into a huge joke and practically killed any kind of popularity that series had. Oddly enough, all those edits were actually suggested by Toei Animation, actually. So after Fox pulled the series from their regular programming, the popularity of the series was pretty on the verge of being non-existent in the United States. Now, luckily, in 2007, Funimation obtained the rights to the show and pretty much put all of their energy into reviving the popularity in the U.S. They released an uncut version of the show, which pleased all the fans, and they virtually made little to no edits in the series. So around this time, too, and show, which I want to say probably around 2008, 2009, Hulu did a huge favor for the series by putting all of Funimation's uncut dubbed episode along with the simulcast of the most recent episodes in Japan with English subtitles. In a way, Hulu kind of revived the interest in anime too, because around 2008, 2007, the popularity of anime was on a decline because all the cable stations that aired anime were slowly cutting all the anime from their programming. Finally, when Toonami was revived in 2012, this helped One Piece popularity a lot. When One Piece was put on Toonami with their minimally edited dubs, this helped escalate the popularity of the series a lot. Also, finally, the series itself has become a lot more of a badass series as the show had been progressing. The earlier episodes were kind of slow in development, but as the series continued, it had gained a lot more badass moments. Anyways, this is all my observation about the series and why it's getting popular. For all I know, my observations might not be the exact points. Anyways, I apologize for the long letter. I know this is probably a lot to take in. I figure I could say something because you mentioned it a bit in the last podcast, and this is where I really get my opinion out. There is in the letters, unless we're a live recording. Have an awesome holiday season, all of you commentators. No matter what holiday you celebrate, I hope you have a good time with your families and loved ones. Your good friend, Langland.
Hey, Fur, I don't know why I was thinking of this, but have you ever considered doing an audiobook of Ulysses?
I missed a huge chunk of that. Let me go back. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Thank you for your letter, Langland.
Thanks, Langland.
Thank you.
All right, we got one
Nick?
more letter in the mailbag from the Random Ramblings Man. Subject, the great, the awful, and the torturous. Good afternoon, dear fellows. I hope you're all having a nice day today. Trey, hope your jaw is starting to feel better.
It is.
Hope
I'm all good.
Nick,
I'm 100% better.
Huzzah! Nick, hope your head's hurting a little less, mostly. Let's move quickly into this mailbag, shall we?
Quick has already gone out the window.
Yeah, no, it's past. We're gone.
It's all over now.
We're in the death valley of not quick.
Anyway, first the great. We all know that The Force Awakens comes out next week, and for where we're at right now, this week, and I'm personally pretty optimistic. But I'd like to comment on the fact that despite all the trailers and teasers and promos, there's still very little to know about the film's plot, in comparison to many films that have been largely spoiled by pre-release material these days. Do you think that's a good or bad thing? It's a great thing.
It's a good thing because, I get to stay excited before the movie.
And we don't know about Doomsday, but we'll get to that later. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that despite some doubts, Jessica Jones surpassed any and all expectations I had and has proven itself to be one of the best entries in the MCU and a worthy counterpart to Daredevil. What do you guys think of the series?
I wasn't aware that there were any doubts going into the series. I didn't have any doubts going into the series.
Yeah, I was consistently excited for it. So.
After watching the series, that excitement about the series was confirmed, and it was incredible, and it did a great job from my understanding, I've never had to experience the horror of being stalked or any kind of sexual assault or whatsoever. But from my understanding, it did a great job of showing a victim's viewpoint of that. And yeah, I don't understand any doubts going into the show.
I haven't finished it yet because it hits a little too close to home for my comfort. I like it. I really like it, but I can only stomach like an episode at a time.
Yeah, so. I seriously enjoyed it.
All right. Next up, The Awful. Speaking of saying too much in trailers, I'd like to bring up the most recent Batman v Superman trailer. Aside from giving us a play-by-play of the movie structure, we get Lex Luthor creating Doomsday.
Out of nowhere, apparently.
Oh man, I thought we were going to try to avoid spoiling.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just was reading the letter.
No, I know. I blame random, not you.
Are you forking kidding me? It seems far too early to bring in such a powerful character, but this is the DC Carnival of Sadness. Am I right? Or as we already mentioned in the show, Doomsday was never a good idea.
You know, to be fair, if you want to introduce a super powerful character with zero plot baggage, why explain something when there's nothing to explain other than terrible?
Dang it, Trey. Anyway. And finally, the Torturous. Recently, our favorite person, Frank Miller, noted in an interview with IGN that he was none too excited about Elektra Natchios appearing in Daredevil Season 2, despite the fact that he hasn't even seen the show and has no intentions to. Yeah, that's really surprising.
Yeah, I read that article. That's Frank Miller is a garbage person. And he speaks garbage as he is a garbage person, and it is his native tongue.
Though Miller's displeasure of anyone using Elektra's character is nothing new. I personally
he loved her so much he killed her.
I personally have faith in the showrunners that they will do the character justice, and Frank Miller should go back to the corner and just shout it with me now. Horse!
I'm not saying that.
Pointlessly.
I'll put those words into Frank Miller's mouth, but
instead of writing Dark Knight Returns 4. If Frank Miller could just disappear into the ether, I'd be fine.
Well, you know, that cancer's taken him, so.
Oh. I didn't mean to say it that way. Damn it.
I made well, you were here last week when I did directly say that. So.
Anyway, that's it for the mailbag. I'm seeing Force Awakens on premiere day, so I'll drop a non-spoilery mailbag and give my 2 cents afterwards. Hope the upcoming week treats everyone well. Until next time, stay random, fellas.
Yeah, and we're going to do a Force Awakens special next weekend.
I might be there. Who knows?
We're not sure about the lineup as to who's going to be on the show that day, but we're going to do some form of Force Awakens special, but we won't be reading mailbag again until the next episode. So, you know, I don't think it'll be too much of a spoiler if we wait, since the episode to be on wouldn't be the one until we record right after Christmas.
Right. Either way, feel free to listen to the Star Wars Force Awakens special, but we're going to be spoiling a lot of things.
Yeah, I will say
it's going to be spoilery.
The reason why we wait a few days to do the special, we'll be doing it sometime on the weekend, is we don't do it, you know, immediately so people can, you know, get a chance to see the movie. But our specials are always spoilery. So never listen to a special Never listen to one of our specials until after you've seen the movie. That's
exactly. Or a year after the movie comes out, I guess.
Well, you should still see the movie first.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you know. Anyways.
All right. Oh, almost forgot.
What a great episode.
No, it's time to move on to the Vomit Hat Steve challenge.
Oh yeah! Holy crud! I was about.
But
to
of course.
Outro.
No, I was realizing I hadn't pulled up the Hall of Awesome yet, and I'm doing that now. But what the Vomit Hat Steve challenge is, for those who are unaware, is that every episode I read a section of a book, and the challenge to you, the listener/viewer at home, is to tell us what book that is I'm reading. And now since August, I've been reading from the same book, but no one's guessed it. And so we're going to keep going with this book until the end of 2015. Now, if the award is if you guess the book in the Hall of Awesome, you get added. If you guess the book in the Vomit at Steve Challenge, you get added to the Hall of Awesome. The Hall of Awesome has the following benefits: 1, your name gets listed on the website, and 2, I read your name every episode. Those are it.
What's the third one, Trey?
There is no third one because we're cheap bastards. Monkey nail polish. All right. So, the following people are in the Hall of Awesome. Arkham Zero, Renan Senti, Cheesy McDaniel, Krista, Slithery, Shameless to Talk with the Random Ramblings Man, Corfan, Capito, Chris Graham, Lily Saurus, Paper Godzilla, and Cavsy. And now for your section of a book. Here's your line, everyone. The sign of speed is the most indicative of how fast the brain works. If you know what book that's from, go to nerdandtie.com and click on the contact form. Or, if you don't know what book that's from and want to write to us about anything else on your mind, in your pants, on your brain, down, home, left, right, up, down, left, right, BABA, select, star, just go to nerdandtie.com and click on that contact form and give us your thoughts. Tell us your thinkings. What happens in your brain space? Make it our brain space. Make us dream, think, and wink at your miraculous existence.
Yeah.
I can't follow that. That's great.
Do that. I don't know. What do we all donate to the Kickstarter for the Monster of Phantom Lake, the musical, and also register for Nerd and Tie Expo.
Well, okay, so I think we should take it to the exiting of the going of the Huza.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another edition of Nerd and Tie. As always, I'm Nick Izumi.
I'm Trey Dorn.
I'm Firsters.
And remember, you can always subscribe to Nerd and Tie on Stitcher or iTunes. There's a Stitcher app available on both iOS and Android. So be special, be happy, rate and review us, tell your friends, subscribe to us on the YouTube channel because, that's a place to watch the video version. And keep the magic going in your pants, man.
Yeah.
Say your catchphrase, Nick.
Keep on spocking in the free world.
Dance party.
Bah humbug.
Sell me alone.
That's not the lyric.
Catching ammonia.